ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Wednesday, May 20th, and your drive is on here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Coming up in the next few minutes, we're going to hear from Ellis, Director of Basketball Operations for Marshall Women's Basketball. They've got a lot of camps coming up. It's our usual Wednesday show with someone from Marshall University to tell us about some of the things that are happening. And so Bree's going to join us this week, and looking forward to it. A lot of things happening with the Marshall women's basketball team. So we'll talk to her in the next few minutes. Let's get you caught up. And, of course, the bad news is we're here today. If I wasn't here, that meant Marshall baseball had advanced. Unfortunately, Marshall did not. And it's disappointing how Marshall finished the season. Marshall fell to Louisiana 7 innings, 11-1. And so a disappointing finish. There was a lot of expectations on this team. Marshall did well last year, so a lot of thought that, okay, maybe this program is starting to rise, and it backslid. Finished 10th in the standings. You get to the opening round, it's an elimination game already. You take on Louisiana, and Louisiana just basically shuts you down. And game ends in 7 because of the run rule. Marshall trailed early, never had a chance. Louisiana jumped on the herd, and after 3, it was a 6-1 lead. And then another homer in the bottom of the 5th, 3-run homer, it's 9-1. And then the lead ends at 11-1. So disappointing start to the tournament and disappointing finish to the tournament for the Thundering Herd. If Marshall could have won, it would have been at least guaranteed a couple more games. And that's what you were hoping for. Marshall could get in and make a run. So now what's next for the baseball team? Well, we hope that Coach Beals can retool, reset. You've got a little off season now to kind of figure out what you can do, where you can go, how to strengthen that bullpen, how to kind of figure out what the transfer portal's got for you, because, of course, you're going to have to build your team, and the transfer portal is where it's going to happen. And I don't know what that's going to look like, to be honest with you. It's very difficult, more so in football than the other sports because, of course, the dollar amounts are what we're talking about usually. Hey, NIL, what's it going to take to get you to come here? We want you to come. Before it's, we're going to offer you a scholarship and the opportunity to play. Now it's, okay, this is what we have to spend to attract these players that are available in the transfer portal. And so when you're a sport like baseball, you don't have as much to work with compared to, say, football or basketball. So difficult road for the Marshall baseball team. Unfortunate end for Coach Beals and his squad. Hopefully this is just a bump on the road for the Thundering Herd, no matter the case. Very disappointing. Hate to see that for the Thundering Herd. Other baseball action, the Cardinals get the better of the Pirates 9-6 in 10 innings. Back at it tonight. We'll have the game for you right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. The Guardians got the better of the Tigers 4-3, and that is going to continue tonight, 6:40 in Detroit. Now, other baseball action happening earlier today. Cincinnati Reds yesterday got the better of the Phillies 4-1. And the Reds do it again today. Earlier this afternoon, it was the Reds 9, the Phillies 4. Reds 15 hits, 9 runs. Phillies could only manage 6 hits and got 4 runs off of that. Games in progress right now. The Rangers trail the Rockies 4-3, top of the 7th. Top of the 6th, it's the Diamondbacks leading the Giants 6-3. Middle of the 4th, White Sox and Mariners tied up at 1 run apiece. Games that are in the books, the Rays beat the Orioles 5-3, and the Twins beat the Astros 4-1. Other action tonight is going to be the Braves and the Marlins 6:40. Guardians and Tigers, as we mentioned, 6:40 as well. Mets and the Nationals, that's at 6:45. Blue Jays and Yankees at 7:05, and then it'll be the Red Sox and the Royals at 7:40, and the Brewers and Cubs 7:40 as well. Later on tonight, it'll be the Dodgers and Padres at 8:40, and the Athletics and the Angels 9:38. Exact time for that contest. And of course, it's going to be a busy week because we have got the NBA and we've got the NHL. We're in the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. How many of you tuned in yesterday, watched the game between the Cavaliers and the Knicks? Now, you know by now, if you've listened to the show, that I'm a Knicks fan. It's always, for me, been between the Knicks and the Lakers. Yeah, I like the Knicks, going back to the days where a certain former Kentucky coach was the head coach of the New York Knicks. We go back a ways. And I was a big Patrick Ewing fan back in my youth. And so, Game 1, Eastern Conference Finals, the Knicks lead after 1, and I'm feeling really good about it. And then the Cavaliers just go on a run, take the lead, continue to dominate, and then all of a sudden, the Knicks storm back, tie the game, we're going to overtime, and then dominate the overtime 14-3, win the game 115-104. That's a huge comeback. Down by 22 at one point. We're going to see more of the same. And the Knicks had not even played. They had rest. So the rust was going on. The rust was real there. Donovan Mitchell did have a game, though. I'll give him that, though. 29 points, 6 steals. So Donovan Mitchell doing Donovan Mitchell things. Jalen Brunson had 25. Let me tell you. He had 38. He had 38 points, 6 assists, 3 steals. I apologize. 38 points. He had a game against the Cavaliers. So we'll see more of that coming up. And we're going to have that game for you. We'll have that game and most of the NBA Finals right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We've got some cracks in the schedule between baseball and the NBA, so we're going to have a few games for you. So keep it locked right here all season long. NBA Finals, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So we'll get into what else is happening later on. We'll get your text in as well. We'll do that at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Coming up, we're going to talk to, and I've been told, be ready. Bree is ready to go. She wants to be the best guest ever on the program. Bree Ellis, Director of Basketball Operations, Marshall Women's Basketball. She joins us when we continue on this edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Save big money on your next project at Menards. Keep weeds out with Menards Premium Weed and Feed Fertilizer. Designed to keep your lawn vibrant while controlling more than 200 types of weeds. A 17-pound bag covers up to 5,000 square feet. Save big on Menards Premium Weed and Feed, on sale now through May 25th. Check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Hometown Chevrolet has free oil changes for life. That's right. And it's Military Appreciation Month at your Hometown Chevy dealer in Waverly. We want to thank you, our veterans, for your service with an additional $1,000 rebate on most new Chevy models. And how about 0% financing and discounts up to $10,000 off the MSRP on selected new Chevrolet Silverado 1500s with guaranteed financing for all. What's holding you back from getting a great deal on a new or used Chevy truck? Plus free oil changes for life at Hometown Chevrolet. Visit your hometownchevy.com to shop today.
Summer starts here. It's Moses Auto Mall of Huntington 9th Street Live every Friday night in Huntington. Presented by Michelob Ultra, White Claw, Big Timber, and Country Boy Brewing. Friday, May 22nd, it's Blinko Glass Company Night with Jocelyn and the Sweet Compression on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Gomart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy 9th Street libations from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station, featuring Tito's, Milagro Tequila, Rebel Bourbon, High Noon, and Lucky One. The after-show party takes place at Jerk Riley's at Pullman Square. Mark your calendar for June 19th when 9th Street is dead with Grateful Dead tunes from John Ingram's Dead Center. July 10th, enjoy the music of the Beatles with the Newbies. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 14th. Sponsored by Wendy's, Huntington Beverage Center, Sods, Apex Tech, The Great Outdoors Marine, Village Caregiving, Thoroughbred Express Wash, the City of Huntington, Marshall University, Blinko Glass Company, Marshall Health Network Arena, and Kendrick Communications.
Did you know that for 80 years, Paralyzed Veterans of America has been a lifeline for our nation's veterans with spinal cord injuries and diseases like MS and ALS, and all people with disabilities? In just the last 12 months, PVA has funded research of the first non-addictive pain medication in over a decade, partnered with an award-winning sports anchor to fight for accessible medical care for women veterans, ensured all women with disabilities feel seen and empowered with help from a top cosmetic company. And that doesn't even include what PVA have done over the last 80 years, like secured the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act, pioneered wheelchair basketball, helped design iconic landmarks, made the DC Metro a model transit system, and wrote and distributed resources in over 60 countries in 4 languages. None of this would be possible without your help. Every breakthrough, every battle won, and every life impacted is driven by you. Visit PVA.org to learn more.
For 70 years, the Humane Society of the United States has worked to end animal cruelty. Now, we're continuing that mission as Humane World for Animals. We're working around the globe to care for animals who are suffering today. And we tackle the root causes of cruelty for a kinder tomorrow. We bring big ideas, bold action, knowing that together we can make a difference. We're building a humane world where wild animals stay wild and protected, where farmed animals no longer suffer, and no animals are used in experiments, where our companions are cared for throughout their lives. We are Humane World for Animals, driving global change for the end of animal cruelty. Help make change for animals. Visit humaneworld.org.
As a prospective college student, one way you can save money on higher education is to earn college credit while you're still in high school. You can save hundreds, even thousands of dollars by taking dual credit courses, which let you earn high school credit and college credit at the same time. Want to learn more about dual credit courses? Visit the website of the Kentucky Higher Education Assistance Authority at kheaa.com. That's kheaa.com.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We continue on with this Wednesday edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line, we'll open that back up in just a moment at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Our next guest, and no pressure on her, she's been with us before, and she's pretty good, but I was told that she was going to be, or is, the best guest ever. And it came from Ryan Crisp, so, you consider the source there. Bree Ellis, Director of Basketball Operations, Marshall Women's Basketball, joins us. No pressure there. I mean, Ryan Crisp was already front-selling it today. Bree, do you hear me?
Yes.
There
I'm
you
here.
are. There you are.
There we are.
No pressure. No pressure. Ryan Crisp was hyping you earlier.
Yeah, he better. He owes me one. No, I'm kidding.
No, there's a story there. I want that. What's he
Yeah,
owe?
that's my guy. Nah, me and Crispy, we're locked in. He does a lot for us, but Great guy. It's the least I could do. So I'm super, super excited.
Does he answer the phone more than once a week for you?
Now that, championship season is over, it's summertime, I don't hear from Crispy. I saw him walking across the parking lot today, and he just shot me the deuce like he didn't know me. So I guess off-season Crispy versus in-season Crispy is two totally different people.
I get Wednesdays. I'm allowed to text him on Wednesdays, and that's it. That's the only
only
time.
Wednesdays. That's
Yeah.
better than me. I only have an 8 to 8:30 window once a week, so that you're doing better than me.
Okay, you need anything, let me know. I'll pass it along.
For sure.
Ellis is with us, and of course, that's big title, best guest ever from Ryan Crisp. But you know what? Fight for the crown. Let's go. Let's talk about it.
For sure.
You've got
Absolutely.
You got a lot going on. I don't know if you knew this, but Marshall women's basketball is pretty good. Won the WNIT recently. You familiar? Were you there? Are you familiar with that?
Whew, very, very familiar. Still very familiar. Still feel like it's surreal. Like I'm coming down from that championship high. That crowd was electric, selling out the Cam. But it's been great. It's been fantastic. Obviously, like you said, WNIT champs. It was awesome to have the community rally around us, and it has really propelled us into recruiting season. So super, super proud of the effort from our seniors and all of our girls. Graduation last week sent 5 players, 1 manager on their way to go out and make the world better than they found it. So pretty exciting times for the Herd.
I'm curious, do you when you're on the recruiting trail or when you do that, is the WNIT trophy, is that just like, front and center? Do you just walk in the room, you get on the Zoom, do you just make sure that's promised? Like you're acting like it's there, but it's not?
For sure. We try to be as subtle as possible, but assistant coach Mikasa Lucas and I went out to Louisville for a live period this past weekend, and she was sporting our new WNIT championship shirt. So subtle to a point, but I guess when you're amongst hundreds of other coaches and trying to get kids to want to come to your program, you have to flex a little bit. So we try to be subtle. We definitely throw that trophy in on recruiting trips and photo shoots and things like that. So we're super, super fortunate. We definitely try to be humble, but it's fun. It's still, as my mom would say, the iron is still hot. So we definitely utilize all of our memorabilia for our good.
What do you find is the difference from just a good season to, oh, hey, we won something, it's a pretty big deal, and you go talk to recruits? What do you find that's the big difference? Or is it the consistency that's really winning the day?
For sure. I think it's a mixture. Of both. In our first season here, we were kind of chasing our tails, and credit Kim Caldwell for the success that we had stepped into, because we got the job, when the iron was still hot. They were coming off of a Sun Belt championship. So that was tough. And it was really about the retention in our first year. And that's been the name of the game going into this recruiting season also. Last year around this time, we hadn't signed anyone from the portal. So we were definitely frantic, but definitely coming off a WNIT championship, it has propelled our portal season, as we call it. And it has helped us add some very, very key new pieces. And our retention rate has been amazing. So a testament to Julie and her culture from last year to this year. Julie is the same person that she was last year to this year. She's a great head coach. She's a great boss. She's great to work for, but she really just laid the foundation last year, and she let the kids know what her culture was going to be. And fast forward to a year later and a WNIT championship later, and that still is deemed true who Julie is and what she does for our kids and our university. So big shout out to Julie. She's amazing. She's so knowledgeable about the game. As many know that Julie's also a doctor. So I credit Julie and the foundation that she's built for us as a staff and, of course, for the program. So just super, super excited to see what the future holds for us.
Brianna Ellis joins us, Director of Basketball Operations, Marshall Women's Basketball, and the recruiting is still going on, so we'll probably get the final word eventually when everything's done and ready to go. But it seems like you've got a lot of talented pieces coming in. You seem like you're ahead of the game, as you mentioned, so you feel pretty good about where you're at right now.
For sure. Portal season is always hard. The NCAA, it seems that we pass new laws every other day. A couple big ones that just passed, obviously the 5-for-5 rule, which just got passed. We were kind of holding our breath because we had a huge senior class. So we were just waiting for that verdict. So that was probably just like us, a lot of other programs around the nation who were waiting to see if they would deem the 5-for-5 for this graduating class, which it ended up that they didn't. It goes into effect next season. So we kind of held our breath on that. We were waiting to see if the Paytons and the Merediths and honestly our entire senior class, if they would have any eligibility after that law passed. But unfortunately, it doesn't go into effect until the 2026 season. So with that being said, we did our due diligence with the portal before it even opened up with NAIA, JUCO, Division II, because that obviously that window opens up before the Division I window opens. So we have got some amazing pieces that we've added so far. We have signed four since last week. So we are looking for 2 more spots to fill, got some visits set up. So we are rocking and rolling. Definitely a way smoother transition than it was in our first year of recruiting.
Bree Ellis joins us. We've got a lot to get into because it doesn't end. You've got recruiting. You got to take care of all that. But at the same time, you got to go hang out with the kids now.
Oh,
and
for sure.
That's what is really what we were planning on talking about before we got into all the other stuff. So I don't want to forget the kids because that's the most important thing right now. We got to talk about the camps. And I know you got to be excited because the Herd Elite Middle School camp is coming up, the Herd Elite camp, the Herd's Kids camp coming up. I guess we'll start at the top with the Elite Middle School camp that is going to be on June 11th. And that's for ages 12 to 14. And I'll let you start. What do we expect for this year? What's the same? What's different? And what are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, for sure. We love camp season. Our kids love camp season. They get to, kind of lead camp, which is awesome. We've got a lot of our seniors who are looking into, being GAs and stepping into the coaching world. So our kids really take pride in camps, especially little kids camp. A little bit different this year. We are not doing team camp. We're going to do an elite camp shootout. And we're hoping that most of the kids they register with their teammates instead of doing a team camp. Because as a staff, we thought that it would be better to give them the real experience of what it's like to train, like the Herd do. So as far as skill and shooting and things like that. So we wanted to be more intentional and more hands-on with campers this year. So that's about the only change as far as format of our camps this year. We are doing shootouts rather than team camp. But of course, our favorite little Herd camp, where the little ones run around. But again, like I said, our kids take pride in leading camp, and they'll definitely get a chance to do that this season. Showcase what they're good at. Cassie Ingram coming back, we'll have her doing skills camp. We'll have her doing layup school and dribbling drills and all the things. So just a very, very fun and lax time, but also giving campers around the area, around the tri-state area, an inside peek of what it looks like and how we train our girls, because hopefully they'll be the future of the Herd one day. So we love camp season. It's fun. Our kids enjoy it because they get to take lead on it, and for once they get to coach. So we're super, super excited about it.
And there's a strong possibility that there's going to be someone at this camp that might turn out to be the next superstar for Marshall basketball. I don't want to put pressure on anyone, but you could have a basketball version of Sydney Burko on your hands at one of these camps, looking up to everyone that's there now and years later coming in and playing for the Thundering Herd. And you kind of see that connection maybe more with the women's basketball team than you do with and again, I'm not trying to compare sports, but I think with women's athletics, there's a deeper connection there. Is that fair? Do you see that?
Yeah, that's definitely fair. I think a big testament to our senior class this past year speaks to just that. I mean, Peyton Ilderton from Logan, West Virginia, Meredith from Fairmont, just getting the local kids who grew up going to Little Herd Camp and going to, shootouts here at Marshall and things like that. So definitely you see it more. Like you said, there are the cool stories that ESPN will capture where, kids grew up at, Don Staley's South Carolina camp or, at Kim Mulkey's Baylor camp and are now at LSU or end up at South Carolina. So I think that we'll definitely have some stories like that because there's a lot of talent around the tri-state area. I think that we got a little snippet of that with, the Peytons and the Merediths of the world, even our Ohio kids, Ariana Redmond from right over the bridge in Ohio. So I definitely think that there's a chance for those stories as many more kids start coming to camp. So we're excited about that also.
And it's a little bit on you as well to make sure those stories get out there because there's probably 100 stories like that, or at least a dozen for this class alone that maybe we don't know about as well. But, when you get a chance to talk to these young ladies, they're always beaming full of pride. And, it does mean more. I know it's cliche as it may seem, but it does mean more when they're playing for the Thundering Herd. And, you and Julie and the staff have carried that over well.
Yeah, for sure. There are great schools around the tri-state area. There are tons of schools in Ohio, tons of schools in Kentucky, and then obviously you've got WVU and us here in several other smaller schools here in West Virginia. So we do pride ourselves in doing our due diligence and recruiting in the tri-state area first, because you kind of look like a moron if you don't get the good ones that are right in your backyard. So we really do take pride in recruiting the local kids first. And then branching out, I think with the transfer portal now, it's harder because you've got traditionally before portal time, you would just go and get all the local kids, from a 150-mile radius of your university. Now you've got international kids. A testament to our team, we've got Leosha, who's all the way from, Fresno, California. We just signed a kiddo from Bakersfield, California. So the portal has definitely threw a wrench in that. But like I said, when we get to go to Ohio and Louisville and Lexington and go to live periods like that, we get to see kids from Indiana and Ohio who are right in our backyard that we can recruit, that we can get to, and we can go evaluate on a season-to-season basis and just keep a good reach on them. So we're in the sweet spot. That's what Julie likes to call it. We definitely have a sweet spot as far as recruiting. So we definitely use it to our advantage.
Bree Ellis is with us, Director of Basketball Operations for the Marshall Women Thundering Herd. Now, you bring up a great point, and I'm going to tie this back into these camps. Julie, yourself, the staff, you're known for these camps. That was probably some of the first things that, when we got to learn about you, the staff, Julie, the camps. People come far and wide for these camps or have followed her. Do you see that carry over now here at Marshall, or at least you're trying to get to that point where, you see that, happening here in Huntington the way it happened, throughout Julie's career elsewhere?
Oh, for sure. I think it's just like I said, again, I can't brag enough about Jules. She's amazing, and the culture that she's built, not just at Transylvania, but obviously starting to lay the foundation here at Marshall. But her record and her accolades from Transylvania speak for themselves. And she was known as the camp coach. So with Lexington being literally just an hour and a half up the road, we get tons of Kentucky kids. They remember how great Transy Camp was, and she emulates that with the Herd Camp. And we want to continue that leverage and that experience that Julie has with putting on great camps, because that is one of the reasons why we tweaked camps just a little bit, because we really want the kids to experience what it's like to play for Julie. And like you said, eventually what it takes to play for the Thundering Herd. So it's been great. Julie knows literally everyone. Everyone knows Julie. And all, like, even her coaching friends, like they will send their kids to camp. So it's just a testament to who Julie is and her culture, because we look forward to camp because it's so much fun. We have fun. Julie has fun. And that's what it's all about. even though that they are getting better, and we do push them like we do push our student athletes. It's all about fun. It's summertime. It's college basketball. You're with some of your favorite athletes, so why not have fun with it? So testament to Julie and the culture that she's created around camps and our team and our staff and things like that. It's going to be amazing.
Let's talk about what parents need to know. For those who may be new to this, haven't been to a camp yet, haven't brought their child. What do you want them to know? What do they need to know, and how do they get to sign up?
Definitely. Like you had made mentioned with some of the dates, obviously I had told you before, we are not doing a team camp. Instead, we're going more of the shootout way. So kids can have more intentional skill and shooting and things like that. Elite middle school camp will be June 11th. We're going to run it from 9 to 12, and that'll be in the Skaggs practice facility. And that is grades 6 through 8, so ages 12 through 14. And then the following day on the 12th, we'll have Herd Elite Camp, which will take place of team camp, and that is going to be 9 through 12, ages 15 through 18. So that'll be, again, a little bit like the Herd Elite Middle School Camp, but more intensive on the skills and the skill development, ball handling, learning some of the zone, learning some of our press, and really focusing on what it's really like in the day of the life of one of our student athletes. And then everybody's favorite, we've got Little Herd Camp, and that'll be June 15th through the 17th. And that will be in the Skaggs family practice facility as well. And that will be grades 2 through 5th, so ages 7 through 11. So that is our more fun and, kind of just party time. We do a lot with skills also, but we just like to have a lot of fun. And if you didn't get anything out of camp, just know that it's going to be a lot of fun and then a lot of intentional skill work.
Best place to sign up, herdzone.com. Where do you want to send people?
Yes, herdzone.com, or you can email Mikasa Lucas or myself, whose information is on our website, as well as the graphic that is went out on social media, on our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook pages.
Bree Ellis with us, Director of Basketball Operations, Marshall Women's Basketball. The camps are coming up, and then after that you get, a day off before you got to go at it again?
For sure. So after camp, I should say not even after camp. On top of camp, we have our student athletes who are training in their summer session. So we're back to 8 hours a week since we are in summer hours, on top of live periods, scholastic periods, and recruiting for high school. So very, very busy. We do throw in some breaks. We'll go about 3.5 to 4 weeks on, a week and a half off, and then another 2.5, 3 weeks, and then we'll send them home in August before they come back. So it really never stops, but we're in a really, really good place coming off of a really, really historic season. So we're pretty excited.
When's the players versus coaches match? I want to come for that.
I would say never, because we would embarrass them so bad.
That's what I wanted to hear. That's what I wanted to hear right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We still got it. And I will let Julie Folks attest to this if she's out there listening. She is the most athletic coach on staff, and she doesn't let anybody forget it.
Does she challenge them every morning? Like, okay, hey, can you outrun coach? Well, what's she trying to do? Like, hey, can you make more than coach?
Sure. Julie is known for doing, so their conditioning test is a 10 and 10. So it's 10 sets of lines in 10 minutes. And Julie said, I will run them with you. I can still make the times. If you can't, that is an issue. So Julie is a very active coach. She's very fun. She's very fit. She likes to work out, and she likes to have fun. So all of the kids know that when Julie steps on the court, Julie hops in practice. She's like an extra practice player. So nothing too high or too low for Julie, and that's what makes her so special. She'll hop in practice if we're down a man, but she's always involved. She's always challenging us as a staff, always challenging our kids. So we're lucky to have her.
Can you make it in time? Do you got the 10 and 10?
I actually like to sit over by the stopwatch and make sure that the clock doesn't malfunction. So
fair. That's an important job. Absolutely
for
fair.
Sure. for sure.
Wait a minute. You have all that analytics stuff in the Henderson Center. Don't
Yeah,
you
for
use
sure.
that? Yeah. Doesn't that track that?
Yeah, I have to make sure that the iPads don't malfunction.
Okay, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. Good.
Absolutely.
Good job to have. So where would you rank yourself? Best guest ever? Ellis joining us, Director of Basketball Operations. Best guest ever? Is that the title?
Oh, I'll let the viewers decide. I'm pretty biased.
Okay. So is there someone below you though? I mean, that's what I'm asking here because I felt a little hurt on herd crime earlier in the text chain.
A little hurt on herd crime. There might be some people below me.
Okay. Let's see. Ryan Crisp, right?
Yeah, Ryan Crisp. He's definitely down there. He's at the bottom of the totem pole for me.
Okay. I'm not gonna.
Crispy, if you're listening, shout out to you, bud. I love you.
I'm not naming any more names.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You just saved my job.
Yeah, let's just basically keep it at that. Ryan Crisp, our weekly punching bag for this. I mean, I think it's only fair because Lord knows what he's saying about me at those weekly meetings. So I think this is fair.
Absolutely. You and me both.
Bree, do it again soon. Let's get you back on. Always welcome to come back.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Bree Ellis, Director of Basketball Operations. The camps are coming up. Find more out on herdzone.com or hit those socials, and you can sign up. And if you got questions, emails are provided. You can email with all your questions. We will get your text, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255, as we continue on this edition of Your Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Baker's Waterproofing and Basement Authority of West Virginia are now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Developmental Therapy Center's 25th annual Valentine celebration, Valentine in Full Bloom, is Saturday, May 30th at Willow Ridge Events. Enjoy dinner, open bar, silent auction, dessert dash, dancing, games, and the annual local celebrity lip sync battle. New this year, Rio Grande football is storming the stage with a high-energy dance battle to kick off the lip sync battle. Join them for an unforgettable evening supporting DTC's life-changing therapy services for children and adults with disabilities. Get your tickets today at dtchuntington.org.
Grab the mic and bring the fun to the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. It's Mike Night every Saturday from 8 till 10. Whether you're a total rock star or just a shower singer who loves to have fun, grab the mic, sing loud, and make a night of it. And every Thursday evening, it's Wingo Singo Bingo. Every Thursday from 7 to 9. Singo Bingo plus 50-cent bonus wings. Great food, great drinks, and great fun. Every week at the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, across from Pullman Square, downtown Huntington.
As kids across America head to class to learn and grow, there's one school supply they absolutely cannot do without: nutritious food. Yet, right now, in the United States, millions of kids are living with hunger, making it harder to learn, to play, to dream. This is something we can't ignore. But there is an answer. When kids get healthy meals, they have greater focus, more energy, and higher grades. Kids like Ariella, who dreams of being a teacher and whose hardworking parents struggle to make ends meet. Or Victoria and Andre, whose mom wants nothing more than a great life for her kids. A life that she knows they can achieve with just a little extra help. Nothing is more important than feeding the hopes and dreams of children. To learn more about ending child hunger in America, go to helpnokidhungry.org.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Thank you, Dave. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, 10:06, another edition of Metro News Talk Live, right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is now open. It's brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. We do that at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We were talking NBA playoffs earlier, so that prompted this question. Texter wants to know, Paul, when the Knicks and the Lakers play, who do you want to win? That's a good question. When the LA Kings played the New York Rangers in the Stanley Cup, I had connections to both teams as far as my fandom was concerned. I was pulling for the Rangers, but I wasn't mad that the Kings won. And I will go back to that a little bit because I grew up as a kid, the team that all my friends rooted for, so that's where it began for me, the LA Lakers. It was Showtime, Magic Johnson. I was a big Magic Johnson fan. I was a big Kareem Abdul-Jabbar fan. James Worthy, Kurt Rambis. It was Showtime. I was big into Showtime, and I always rooted against Boston. And as the Knicks got better, again, Patrick Ewing, a big Patrick Ewing fan. I would say, though, if it's a one-off, I would probably pull for the Knicks if it's a one-off. If it's a championship, I probably also would pull for the Knicks because New York hasn't won as many championships as the Lakers. And I just don't think I like this current version of the LA Lakers. I don't hate them. It's not my favorite group of players. Whereas I like the play of the Knicks right now, and so I would probably say I'm going to go with the Knicks. And if it's the Knicks versus any other team, I'm taking the Knicks. If it's the Knicks and Lakers, I'm probably going to pull for the Knicks, but I'll sit back and just watch it. It's one of those where, I kind of have a reason to like both of them. And, of course, I don't live in New York. I'm not from New York. I don't live in L.A. I'm not from L.A. So it's not one of those things where I'm betraying anyone. At the end of the day, this is entertainment, and we got to remember that. It's different than college, though. With college, I'm from here. So I went to Marshall. I'm from here. Despite what some of you may think, I'm always hopeful that the Thundering Herd will do well. And of course, I've got to be back a little bit because honestly, if you endeavor to cover a team, you need to be fair, you need to be honest. And that might come off as critical sometimes when, I did go there, and when I'm no longer in this position, I'm probably going to be at the games, no burden whatsoever. I can just sit there and root for the team. But it's different for college because you go to a school, and some people go to the school just for the education and they don't care about the sports. A lot of people go to the school, care about the sports, sometimes go to the school because of the sports. And there are a lot of people that never went to Marshall, but it's the community team, it's the state team for them, or it's the team in the area, and so they've got a passion there. You almost are born into, depending on where you're at, you're almost born into your team. I wasn't born into my teams, except for Marshall, because Marshall was the team here. So that's the easy one. If you ask me, hey, Marshall versus whomever, as a fan, Marshall, as someone who covers the Thundering Herd, you got to have a little bit of okay, I'm covering them. I'm not rooting, I'm not cheerleading, I'm not doing that. You have to maintain a little bit of a separation. But, and this has come up as well, and social media, there's been media member on media member crime or journalist on journalist crime out there sometimes because people are critical of how others cover the sport or how they're fans. And I'm not talking about people who do podcasts or other social media. I'm talking about members of the media, accredited members of the media at accredited news operations will come off as the dreaded word, the homer. And for a lot of people, you want that. I had this conversation with somebody one time because they wanted to hear the late Dickie Martin do a game. They're like, hey, look, I want that homer call. I don't want people who are objective or biased. I mean, not unbiased. I want the bias. I want the homer. I want the guy who, is pro us, bad the rest of you. But to circle back here, I know we went off a little bit, we strayed, but as someone, I don't cover the NBA, so I feel like I could be a little bit more of a fan. I'd have to, if I was ever in that position where I was covering the NBA, I'd have to dial that back and, just go into a different mode. Same thing with professional sports of any kind. Same thing, with the Bengals. I don't cover the Bengals. We carry the Bengals games here. I'm a Bengals fan. I think it's okay as long as there's some people who cover their team and they're fans, but at the same time, they're straight up. If the team does something wrong, they'll murder them, or they'll at least try to be honest. But that's their team, but they're trying to be honest in how they cover them and talk about them. But we'll have, and by the way, I'm rooting against Cleveland also. No bones there. Absolutely rooting against Cleveland. Fun series so far. Game 1 was fun. Let's hope that we get fun in Game 2. And, of course, we've got hockey action coming up as well. We're going to have the Western Conference Finals coming up tonight on our sister station, Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. Finally getting this thing underway. Western Conference featuring the Golden Knights and the Avalanche. And then the Eastern Conference gets underway on Thursday. It'll be the Montreal Canadiens taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. Hurricanes probably the closest thing we have to a local team. Keep your texts coming. More are welcome. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We wrap it up when we continue on this edition of The Drive.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level. And the stakes, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch, Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Here's another Kindred Communication Community Chatter. Marshall University's Huntington Alumni Chapter is hosting its 2026 golf tournament fundraiser. This raises money for scholarships for future Marshall students. This will be at Creekside Golf Course Friday, June 26th. Registration 7 a.m. Call Gene Chapin at 304-360-1023 to sign up. This Kindred Communications Community Chatter brought to you by Kentucky Farmers Bank, a better banking summit. Ashland, Catlettsburg, Louisa, and Wheelersburg. Online at kfb.bank.
Summer starts here. It's Moses Auto Mall of Huntington 9th Street Live every Friday night in Huntington. Presented by Michelob Ultra, White Claw, Big Timber, and Country Boy Brewing. Friday, May 22nd, it's Blinko Glass Company Night with Jocelyn and the Sweet Compression on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Gomart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy 9th Street libations from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station, featuring Tito's, Milagro Tequila, Rebel Bourbon, High Noon, and Lucky One. The after-show party takes place at Jerk Riley's at Pullman Square. Mark your calendar for June 19th when 9th Street is dead with Grateful Dead tunes from John Ingram's Dead Center. July 10th, enjoy the music of the Beatles with the Newbies. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 14th. Sponsored by Wendy's, Huntington Beverage Center, Sods, Apex Tech, The Great Outdoors Marine, Village Caregiving, Thoroughbred Express Wash, the City of Huntington, Marshall University, Blinko Glass Company, Marshall Health Network Arena, and Kendrick Communications.
In honor of all those we've lost to cancer and those still fighting and thriving, like basketball analyst and cancer champion Dick Vitale.
I want to beat cancer. I'm going to beat it. That's no doubt in my mind. I'm going to win this battle.
Defeating cancer will take all of us. Join our team to help fund game-changing research that saves lives. At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over the odds. V is for victory over health disparities, victory over setbacks, victory over the unknown. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join the V Foundation team and help save lives.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
For the safety of students, families, and teachers, schools across our country are closing.
School closures can have significant and lasting consequences, particularly for vulnerable students who may face hunger, homelessness, and even trauma.
That's where our organization, Communities in Schools, can help. For years, we've had caring adults inside schools helping these students stay in school.
Now, we are taking our work beyond the school walls. Our caring adults are delivering meals, providing household supplies, connecting kids with online classrooms, and using technology to maintain the one-on-one relationships we know can transform the lives of students and their families.
Communities in Schools, going wherever we are needed, doing whatever it takes to empower students to succeed in school and in life.
To see how you can help kids succeed, visit communitiesInschools.org.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Wrapping up today's edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Good show today. Glad that you could be a part of it. I'm actually sorry that I had to be here today, though, because I was hoping we'd have Marshall baseball for a few days. Unfortunate end for the Thundering Herd, but can't win them all. And let's hope that the Thundering Herd can recalibrate, and let's get back at it for next year. A disappointing finish, though, for the Thundering Herd. So that's why we're here and back with you tomorrow and for Friday as well, right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 as we are getting closer to all the summer activities. And if you weren't with us earlier, Ellis joining us from Marshall Women's Basketball, Director of Basketball Operations, and the camps are coming up for the ladies. Great opportunity. I mean, and that's something, if you didn't hear the interview, that's what we hit hard is that Coach Folks and her staff, I mean, Coach is known for the camps. That was the first thing I found out about her. It's like, national championship coach, won a lot of games. Kids love her because the camps are great. And she's got this fantastic recruiting pipeline. She really knows how to develop players, and they keep coming back, and they come back from far and wide. So great camp coach. Great opportunity for Herd fans to be a part of that. So thanks to Ellis joining us today on the program. Looking forward to having her back real soon to get caught up once again. And, of course, don't forget, we've got Pirates baseball coming up tonight. We go on the air at 7:20. Pirates taking on the Cardinals. Cardinals got the better of the Pirates 9-6. Hopefully the Pirates can win. Went into extras last night. Let's hope that that is not the case, and we get a Pirates win coming up tonight here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. NHL Western Conference Finals coming up tonight on our sister station, Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. It's game one between the Golden Knights and the Avalanche. We'll have that for you starting at 7:30. We'll have all of the Stanley Cup action we can handle on Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. Of course, Pirates baseball and the NBA right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Thanks for being a part of today's show. I do appreciate it. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Until then, have a great night, everyone.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.